All right, guys, here we are. What was he thinking? The T25 Pilot 1. As we start our match here, we're going to see the team lists. What's missing in these team lists? Well, first off, artillery. All right. Second, tank destroyers. Great. Third, light tanks. Now, we can see a lot of medium tanks on either team at various tiers, but no TDs, no artillery, no light tanks. So he who has the best spotting wins. That goes true for nearly every game. What we're going to do here, guys, is we're going to first take the east side. So we're going to move over to the east. I'm going to speed this up a little bit. We are on 2x speed. But we can see we got actually a lot of forces coming with us. Now, we're taking a look at team list as well as we drive over here, and we see, okay, they got a Type 4 Heavy and a 54 E1 as their top tanks. I don't want to play with those. If I see a Type 4 over here, there had better be like 7 other tanks with me, or I'm gonna bug out, because it's really hard to pen stuff with this tank. This guy has a little bit less than 200 standard AP and about 240 on the APCR. So that's why you guys can actually see, if you take a look at the bottom middle, we're only carrying about 12 rounds of AP. Now, I'm not going to need the APCR to actually pen some of these guys, so I will be using a lot of the AP at first. And we take a bounce shot from that T-34-100, and as we saw there, guys, you guys saw me move the camera back and forth a little bit, because I spotted this Tiger P, you guys can see above my head right here in the camera. And I don't know exactly where he is when I spot him. The indicator doesn't point out on a vanilla client. So I'm actually looking here and I see, okay, he's actually kind of looking at me. His front armor's towards me, so I'm going to be wary of him. But my main concern right now is this T-34-100. I'll keep checking back here to the Tiger P. And you guys can actually see, right before I fire here, I zoom out to see if anything else is looking at me. Now, that's just a simple hit of the shift key for me. Other guys, you have it set to only be the shift key, which is great. But a lot of you guys were asking me, why do I zoom out before or after I fire? That's so I can keep an idea of what's around me. Now, I'm just looking for, I'm not exactly looking for what's around me. I'm looking for how many are around me and where they're at. So if we take a look at the screen here, we can actually see there's a clump of enemy tanks and this solo Tiger P. Now, I'm going to pan the camera around. You guys can also look at the mini map here. We're kind of below the ridge here, but to peek up to shoot these guys, we're gonna maybe expose ourselves to anything that's sitting back here. But again, there's no tank destroyers, so if anything's back there and it fires, I'll probably see it, because you guys can see that I actually do have pretty good view range on here. It's not maximum, but it's pretty close. So as I'm looking around here, and this is just all happening really quick, guys. I'm seeing there's nothing on my right. Great, that's fine. There's those guys on the left. I know exactly where they are because I've been going back and forth with them for nearly a minute now. And there's this Tiger P in front of me, and I know how the Tiger P was actually facing. But as you guys can see, before I pause this here, he's coming up with his turret sideways. And I'll just scroll back in here again to remind you guys what I'm looking at here. His turret's kind of sideways. I know I can pen the side of his turret, no problem, with AP or even APCR. So we're going to go up here again, and I'm zoomed out, and I actually fire. I fire and zoom out at kind of the same time. I was able to catch it between the zoom out and the fire, but we're kind of rolling up and back and forth here again, keeping track of who's down there on our team, who's around me. I actually can see that we have the 101 and a Malshin moving up down here, but I do see this T29 right here, and I at least saw the 101P real quick. So I see who's around me. I see on the minimap as well that we actually have a lot of tanks stacked over here. It's time to move forward. So I mouse over to the T29. I hit that T button as he's highlighted, which brings up that message you guys can see below my camera. Hey, follow me. Now, communication, pretty simple, guys, right? I see this 4503 rolling away back here. I don't want him to get away, but he's now behind that berm, and I make the snap/experience decision to shoot the 34-100. He's not looking at me. As far as I know, there's very few tanks over to my right, and you know, the 4503 is actually behind the berm there. So I take a shot there, and we can see that the comet lights up as he shoots me. Now, it's not a lot of damage. I'm not really worried about one shot from a comet, but there was a 4503. We do finish him off real fast just to get that gun out of the game. We don't want a guy running around with very few hit points, guys. But again, the Comet, not worried about one shot from him. Several shots from him, I'm worried about. So now I'm peeking up slowly. I'm peeking up just my turret because I know my turret will be able to withstand his rounds at least somewhat. He's not going to pen every single time. He's not going to not pen every single time. But as long as it's not penning every single time, and as long as I'm not bleeding out hit points, we're fine. But I see this 34-1 over here. Sorry again, guys. And I can see most of his tank, so I'm actually aiming down here in order to give me possibly the best chance to actually hit him. And what I don't realize is that there's this rock right here. If you guys can see, there's the background that the crosshair is over, and then there's the rock. You guys can see the difference between a light and dark, right? But I'm lining up on this 34th and I take a few shots at him. Again, I zoom out as I'm shooting because he's sitting still. My reticle is pretty still. And I'm trying to shoot this guy, and I'm like, where are my shells going exactly? And it's like I realize, oh, there's a rock there. All right, well, I'll try to aim a little bit better. And that one still misses. But we take a shot from Panther 8.8. I'm going to point this out to the team later. It's like, hey, guys, there's a Panther 8.8 over in that direction. So that they can be a little wary about it. And we see that a few things happen here. The 34-1, I shot him in the ass, and he started to run away. Like, instead of sitting there realizing that he actually had, like, 4 rounds fired at him and only 1 connected. He was actually in pretty good cover right there. But no, he kind of panicked and ran away. That's not the thing that you want to do. If it was me in his position, I might have tried to reposition a little bit better, maybe figure out where I was getting shot at from, and then reposition my tank so I can get out of there, not just roll straight forward. But he rolls forward. He gets nailed by 2 guys on my team. The 2 guys to my right, if we look here, it's the 100-01 and a T25. Those guys actually hit this guy and track him, and now he's fully exposed. And I do finish him off right here with that round. And I can see the comments on my left, but, you know, I know, again, all these guys were down low, and I know that those guys were going through and that they were still pretty healthy because the enemy team ran out of there really fast. That was more of like an experience call than anything. I didn't really consciously take note that, yes, all my allies are still there. They're actually advancing, etc., etc., etc. It's the enemy team bugged out, so I realized that I don't really have to worry about down here. But what I do have to worry about is that I see the 2 Chrysler GFs coming up there. And I try to take a shot here on the Comet, but unfortunately I fire too late. Something blind fires at me, but that's okay because it missed. But we're taking a look here at these 2 GFs. I take a bad shot at it, and we actually see the other one gets taken out. I do get a little bit of spotting damage for that. Again, the view range on this tank is actually working pretty well for me because it seems that most of my other teammates don't have that great a view range. I see the IS-2 here and I take a shot at him, tracks him, he's behind a dead tank, so I look real quick and decide that, nah, he's probably not the best target right now. So I see this GF. Now this GF's in a pretty good position. The only reason I'm taking shots at him here is I want to worry him with the hope of taking off hit points. Now, I know my chance to pen is actually going to be very slim, even though you guys can see that pen indicator arrow right in the middle of the screen here, right in the middle of the aiming circle is green. That doesn't mean a for sure pen, plus it's also assuming the armor is vertical. So I take a few shots at him while keeping alert about my surroundings, and I'm like, hey, there's the Type 4 guys. Hey, I teed up the Type 4. I was like, you know, get that little crosshair indicator above his head so the team can see, hey, this guy's over here. He's advancing this way. We can see him. We need to be careful about this guy. Now, he has a side turret to me, and it was yellow, but I took the shot anyway, and I missed. Now, I'm reloading, and I see this IS-2. He's going to get tracked right here by that shot that just came on the screen. I'm actually going to put a round into him. It gets there late, but that does secure the kill. And as you guys can see all the time, I'm constantly getting that, hey, you got damage assistance, you got damage assistance, you got damage assistance. And I see the T25. I'm taking some shots at him, and I decide, all right, I'm not going to do much from back here. My health is still pretty okay, so even if I get shot at by 1 or 2 of these guys, I should be fine. Part of my decision for this is that we can see the group of heavies over here. We got a group of heavies over here, and we got a T29 lined up here. Okay, great. Nobody's really pressuring them. Somebody's got to do it, and I know I'm confident in my skill that I can get right below these Chrysler GFs and harass them a bit. Plus, we're going to see here, I actually noticed the 54E1 walking up in front of me, so I put a shot into him, and I keep going forward. And I see the Type 4 there with that dreaded light bulb going off. Now, all he had to do, I'm guessing right now, is he's in sniper mode. So all he had to do is just look to the right a little bit. It wouldn't have been much travel time at all, but all he had to do was look right a little bit, and he would have had a shot on me, and it would have been very painful. I see the Panther 8.8 walk up. The guy that shot me earlier, he's up there now, sitting behind the rock. I'm taking some shots at him. The first one actually just damaged his track. The second one did some damage itself. And the third one, that hits an ammo rack, guys. There's an ammo rack right here, right next to the driver. If you guys can just imagine what this tank looks like, kind of copy what's over to here. So we have the mud guards right here, which we can sort of kind of see along the outline of it behind the bush. But there's the weld of that front plate. So I'm imagining the front plate weld right here. So I aim right here next to the driver, and that is the ammo rack on the Panther. On any Panther, Panther 8.8, Panther, Panther 2, any of them. So I try to aim there again. Maybe I could get an ammo rack kill, but no. Unfortunately, it just does damage to him, and he's taken out a few seconds here by my team. So I'm looking around. I'm like, wait, there's a Chrysler G around here, right? There's a Chrysler K around here. Where is he? Because we can see him on our minimap, guys. We can see him on our minimap. We know he's here. We also know there's an IS-3 around here as well. So I'm kind of being a little cautious here. I'm waving my turret around and looking around a little bit. It's like, where is this Chrysler G? Oh, okay, there he is. All right, so I know where he is. I don't know where the IS-3 is. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to try to help out my team here a little bit. And I can see that the Type 4 is actually looking down the middle. So I know I'm going to take a shot from him. There it is right there. I also took a shot from the Chrysler GF, but the Chrysler GF actually does more damage because the Type 4 is actually firing HE at me out of the non-HE gun. But I'm coming up here and I'm looking, where the hell is this IS-3? And I actually spot the KV-3 right in front of me, and it's like, okay, oh, whoa, he's there. Well, actually, this kind of works out a little bit. It's like, I may not know where the IS-3 is, but I stopped this KV-3 dead in his tracks, so my team now knows where he is. I'm going to light him up here again. And there's the IS-3. I was going to go light him up here again, but then I decided, you know, it'd probably help out my team more if I put some rounds into this Type 4. And I'm using this rock right here, guys. I only have a little bit of my tank exposed to this, where this IS-3 could possibly shoot me from. And honestly, during the match, I thought I was a little bit better protected than this, but thankfully the IS-3 never really shot at me. So I'm putting some rounds into this Type 4, and again, I want to point out location. I could choose to shoot up here where his ammo racks are, right below the turret in these sponsons, but I don't because there's a chance that it could ricochet still. I don't want to shoot the applied armor down here, the armor skirt. I don't want to shoot that because there's a good chance it'll just go into the track and do no damage. No, actually, you know what? I want to shoot him in the engine. Let's shoot him in the engine, try to set him on fire. So I'm actually put a few rounds into his engine, and he looks over at me. I'm just sitting there thinking, look all you want. My team's got the side of your turret now. So I'm just sitting back here. I'm waiting for, you know, my team to start doing some damage. I'm just sitting back here. I double-checked to see if the KV-3 is in a warning area for me, and he's not. So I roll back up as he looks away, and I put another one into him. I roll back up to put another one into the KV-4, finish him, but he's killed. There's the IS-3 sitting there. He's now noticed me. So maybe the Type 4 was like, hey, this guy's over here shooting at me. You know, do something about it. Excuse me, guys. So I move away from the IS-3 because he's actually very healthy. And taking a shot from him would not do me any good right now. So I move over to the Chrysler GF. Again, somebody else who's not paying attention to me, but somebody else that I need to harass so my team has a better chance of actually taking him out. And we can see right here, he's not looking at me. So I first try a shot on his engine deck, but that one bounces because it then goes into his turret. So next shot I line up, and keep in mind the next shot I line up there is on the commander's hatch, but you guys saw where he turned his turret towards me and then turned back. That may have given my teammate enough confidence to actually just roll in and kill him, even though we can see this guy's pretty healthy. Tanks is all about presence. Have presence on the battlefield like we did with that Type 4 where he turned his turret away from all these guys in front of me to look at me. Like thinking that maybe this guy will pop back up, you know. I've been in many receiving end situations like that, and I hope you guys can create many situations like that where you're in my position and you're shooting at these guys and they have to decide, Do I take the time to turn my turret over here and possibly get a shot on this guy? Or do I keep my turret over here on all of these guys and take shots from that guy? It's a no-win situation. That's why I always say to you guys, flank. Flanking kills tanks, no matter what tank you are in. Flanking kills tanks. I mean, look at this. This Chrysler and this Type 4 right here are perfect examples of that. Flank, guys, flank. Chrysler was facing the whole east side with his front and his turret and his thickest armor was towards all of those guys. But when I chose to take a hit and cross the road here, now I could take a hit and survive. And I crossed this center road here over to here. Those guys were flanked and they had to make a decision. Can I take out this 25 pilot before his friends kill me, or should I just focus on everything else? So we're going to go back here. I know that IS-3 is still over there. I'm not going to deal with him yet. But I'm going to harass this KV-3 a little bit. So I move up here. And again, I have a good mental image of where this IS-3 is. And we can actually kind of see his silhouette here. If we line this up just right here, guys, you can see that his gun is actually pointed off over this direction. Probably at our 101P. That he probably won't pin anyway unless he's firing premium ammo. But we're going to harass this KV-3 who... we can see on our map here on our HUD that there's another T25 pilot coming up behind him. So we're going to harass him, actually try to keep his attention on us so that our allies can do some damage to him. And we can see here, he's actually kind of keeping his turret pretty close to the front of us. And a T20 rolls up, takes a shot at the IS-3, but it misses. So I'm kind of just waiting for this IS-3 to either fire at somebody else or get killed. So he gets killed, so I roll up. I pull one into the back of the KV-3 turret. He takes another 2 rounds, dies. Match over. This, guys, is a perfect example of spotting range is key, flanking's key, being aware of your surroundings, guys. Practice all these things and you guys will get better. This match, if you guys don't believe me, go back and watch this match again. You know, this is all what I am thinking during a match, guys, and I'm here to help you guys out. So, as always, guys, what was he thinking? T25 pilot 1 steps. What more is there to say? Catch you guys later.